Hey folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, whatever the case may be. Yeah, so I, the other day, on payday, was Wednesday, it was also my daughter Wolfie's birthday. I went and ended up getting some, we stopped at the dollar store and I ended up getting some, scrapbooking paper, and, oh, this is uneven, that sucks. But, yeah, I brought it home, and this is, because I ran out of paper, like cardstock, what have you, for my smaller baggies, right, for these, I ran out. So I got this package. It's really nice designer paper, 20 sheets, 10 of each design, really nice and pretty. And shiny, very, very shiny. Some of them are very shiny. Like half of them are shiny and half aren't. And I decided half of them are going to go for the small baggies and half for the big baggies. Although I still have a whole bunch. Actually, I don't know how much. I got to organize all of this stuff. So anyways, I come home. And I go and I pull out my paper trimmer, this one, and it sucks for cutting. Getting it at the right length and whatnot. The cutter here doesn't sit properly. It doesn't sit properly on here, and it's frustrating. It's annoying. It's got this little tiny ruler that just, it doesn't sit straight. It angles out just a little bit too much. Plus the screw that holds it in, it sticks out just a little bit. And when I first got it, I was using it on my light board. I had it, yeah. So, and it actually the screw ended up scratching some of my light board. It ended up causing scratches right here. So now it's slightly damaged right there. Well, anyways, I started cutting with it, and it's just, anyway, it was really, really frustrating and annoying, and they came out just a little bit smaller than usual. Well, than the size that I actually use for these, but they still work. They're still a good enough size. So I went and I'm like, well, screw this. I ordered a new one. But this one, I got from Walmart, and it's too small. I cannot fit a 12 by 12 sheets. See, it's actually 4 inches by 12 inches. So, because I went and I used, I used this one, and I cut each sheet 4 inches. I cut 4 inches off. So I got 4-inch strips, and I still have the rest here, but these ones will actually fit through here. But again, still an issue. It's not totally straight, right? They're not. They should all be exactly the same, and they're not, because you can see a little bit of this one sticking out, which means that one is, yeah. But anyways, I figured I'd come on here and do a video, do some recording while I do some cutting with my new trimmer, and it cuts really nice. This calendar that my daughter gave me for my birthday, it's got it's cat facts. So, like for today, Saturday, January 24th, a couple of cool cats had one very fancy wedding. The cat couple's nuptials cost a record $39,443 US. Fett, the groom, arrived by helicopter, while Ploy, the bride, showed up in a Rolls Royce. Now, what I've been doing is keeping them. Like after I pull them off, I keep them. And now today I took all of the ones up so far, and I've trimmed them I cut this section out, and that leaves me with 3 sections, right? So now this section and this section, I just flip it over and it's blank on the back, right? So that's for scratch paper. And then all of these phrases, I'm keeping those, and I'll figure something out to do with them later. Probably do a scrapbook album of cats and just throw those in there every so often. All right, so I've got my, but this cutter also came with, it came with a cutting blade and a scoring blade. That just means it puts like a groove in the paper, so then it makes it easier to fold. But yeah, so I hope I remember. I think I'm doing this correctly, if I remember correctly, because yeah, they're 2 inches by 2.5 inches. Well, just no, not quite 2.5. So see, this is the actual size compared. So they're still the same length, but just a little tiny bit wider than the ones that I ended up with. So that's perfect. Perfecto. I will eventually replace my other trimmer. I want to get a guillotine again. I miss having a guillotine. I used to have 2 different guillotines. Son of a... Not paying enough attention to what I'm doing, and I screwed up. I screwed up. Because this is too small. Way too small. Way too small. I'll still use it. Whatever. But that just means... Goodness me. Anywho, yeah, I used to have 2 really nice guillotines. That's what you call a guillotine. Is those big paper cutters, big square ones, and you've got the like big handle with the blade that comes down. It's called a guillotine, and it just, you can cut several what the heck? I'm doing this wrong. Darn it. I'm distracting myself. Because I shouldn't have extra like this. Okay, so these are 2 inches. So these ones basically just do, it's just over 2.25 inches is the actual size. And thankfully the measuring on this paper trimmer is perfect. Alright, so I do end up with just a tiny bit of extra. But now let's do this. And double check. Yeah. This one's going to be a little tricky because of it being uneven. So I'm just double checking all of them, because I like having them all. I like being organized. I like having things organized. And but you'll look at my workstation and be like, well, that's an unorganized, that's chaos, organized chaos. Yeah, an organized mess. Yeah, that's how it is for me. But anyways, so yeah, yesterday, Wolfie and I went to the town next door for groceries. Since we didn't go grocery shopping on Wednesday, I ordered groceries through the Walmart app. And so we went to the town next door. We got a tank of propane done. Went to Walmart, picked up our groceries. Then we went to Canadian Tire, and I got with the gift card my boyfriend gave me. I got myself a tire iron. I also got attachments for the hose for the wash machine. Yay! Tried to see if they had juice crystals, but no, they don't. But that's okay. While we were there, I checked No Frills, which is the grocery store that my boyfriend works at. And yes, they had juice crystals. They're no name, but that's fine. But they're also cheaper. And they also have fruit punch. So I got us a thing of iced tea and a thing of fruit punch. So really excited about that. And they're only like $12 each. So for $24, it's better than 30. 30 something. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. Very happy about that. Let's see. Oh, and I also ordered a deep freeze, just a small one, because it was on sale. Normally they're like $240, I think it said. And around Christmas it was $189. Well, they were on sale for $169. So I'm like, yeah, we need a deep freeze. And that's the best price I've seen so far. So yeah, with tax and all that stuff, it came to $200. But we have a deep freeze. It was scheduled to arrive tomorrow, but I got a phone call just over an hour ago from the dude trying to find my place from FedEx. And so yeah, our deep freeze is here. And God, I got it all set up. In about 20 minutes I'll go out and plug it in and turn it on, because you got to let it sit for a couple of hours before you turn it on, and then you got to let it sit. You got to let it run for 24 hours before you start actually using it with like putting stuff in it. So yeah. Yeah, my boyfriend the other night, his boss ended up taking him to the hospital because of vertigo, dizziness, nausea. Yeah, he was not doing good at all. So, yeah, his mom came and spent time with him while he was in the hospital. So he wasn't alone, and I gave him heck. I told him, next time you get a hold of me, let me know and I'll come and be with you. Of course, I'd want to take him home and baby him and pamper him and spoil him and all that stuff, but yeah. Yeah, well, he's got a tricky ticker. He's got a very unusual heart. He has extra like veins or arteries or both that actually go from one part of his heart to another part of his heart, which is dangerous, to say the least. Yeah, so he's supposed to be careful with and not overwork himself, but he's stubborn. And he has a tendency of overdoing it. So, and he doesn't always take good care of himself. But he's lost, yeah, he's noticeably lost weight since the time that we lived together 10 years ago. But then the work that he did back then, like he had his own business, his own transport business, transporting deliveries for a company in a city about 2.5 to 3 hours away. And like he would, but like he owned his own business. Like he bought the business from his former boss when the guy retired, and basically the business just consisted of he had contracts with 2 different businesses in the city, and he had a cube truck, and he would just go to the city first thing in the morning. They would load up his truck, and he would drop off deliveries at different locations along the way back, so that by the time he got back out to here, he was done for the day. One of the places that he used to do deliveries to once in a while was to the doctor's office, the clinic where my doctor is located, in the town next door. Yeah. And there were a couple of times that I saw him there. It's like, oh hey, how's work going? Yeah, yada yada. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that paper trimmer really sucks. There's like this one, you can see it's not totally straight. It's got a little dip in it right here. It does the work. It's good enough for now. Doesn't have to be perfect, but so I got like 5 of these larger containers from the dollar store that I want to start using for storage. I figured I'd use them for storing my drills, because I can store like I can get like trays kind of like this, excuse me, and I can fit a whole bunch of trays, but like I want ones with higher sides, so because then I could put like these baggies in, and then have a tray sit on top, and like, but not be squishy the baggies, right? And then I can stack them in there, and like on the front of the tray, I could have a like which drills, like which DMC numbers are in the tray, and have it nicely organized like that. All right. I've been thinking about doing something like that. Because less risk of damage to the container. Because the shoe boxes, I loved using the shoe boxes. The only problem is like I'll pick them up and like the lids get damaged. If they get wet, well, the moisture, the fluid, the liquid could damage does damage to the boxes, whereas the containers, they're plastic, so you just easily wipe them off. And they're stackable. So, but I also want to use them for storing my empty containers as well. The ones that I'm not using, that are not currently being used in kits. I also got like the 3 little stackable shelves. I figured I'd use them out here, but then I got to thinking I could actually use them in the bedroom, because I've got this rack system in the bedroom, and it's just they're really great shelving units. It's just the material that they're made out of is pretty bad, pretty weak. So it's kind of, with all of the weight that I put on it, not realizing, well, there is a weight limit, and I filled it with books and DVDs, and well, that's just too much weight. So they're, yeah, they need to be replaced. So I'm going to use these little shelves, and I've got 3 of them. And I'll just use those because they are metal legs, and so they'll yeah, I don't need such a big honking thing. And whoo, look at that. Yeah, when I'm done cutting all of these, I'm gonna actually fill the baggies because I can. And so I still have these ones to go. Gonna trim these ones down now. But I love cutting paper. I love cutting paper. Yeah. It's making me miss scrapbooking. Something I used to do a lot years ago. Back before diamond painting was a thing. But yeah, I don't have as much time scrapbooking stuff as I used to. It's located all over the place in here, and well, it is what it is. One of these days I'll get back to it, because I do have some empty scrapbook albums. It's just they're a bunch of my scrapbooking supplies are located in storage underneath the bed, and it's frustrating trying to access all of that stuff, because you got to move the mattress. You got to lift the mattress up, which means removing everything from on top of the bed in order to access the storage underneath. And then it's like, well, where does all this stuff go that's sitting on top of the bed, just to get it out of the way? And I know, excuses. But I also don't have room for everything. Like, I ended up putting 2 totes full of stuff into the van for storage, because I don't have anywhere else. I don't really have the room in here. And that's because, well, we live in a 5th wheel. There's just not enough room for everything. It would be easier if Wolfie didn't live with me, because then I'd have more storage. But I'm not about to kick her out, because she needs a place to live too. So that's why she's living here with me, with her mom. Yeah. And if I ever become monetized on here, on the Tubus of Ubis, or Ubis of Tubus, whatever, if I ever become monetized, whatever money I make will first go towards a place to live, then a better vehicle, then helping her get a place, helping her to be able to move to Florida. And hopefully by that point her boyfriend has got a place of his own down there. Because right now he's working a kind of a crappy job. He doesn't really like the job, doesn't really like the people that he's working with. But it's an income, and it's close enough for him to get there and back. But then he's saving up to be able to buy himself a truck. Once he's got himself a truck, then he's going to be he's going to look for a different job, a better job, something that he'd be happier doing, and then save up to get a place of his own. So we figure, yeah, hopefully in a couple of years. It's just 1 month at a time, basically, right now, is what we're looking at for getting everything done. Our next big purchase for us, for either of us, is glasses. And because yeah, we both need new glasses. But got everything dealt with and straightened out for our IDs. Hers is coming in the mail. Mine, I gotta finish getting my ID all upgraded, updated, all of that stuff. We stopped at the post office real quick yesterday, and I bought like a long box, like the kind that diamond paintings come in. Yeah, they have them there for like $4.99 each, and they're not a bad size. I can definitely fit. I'm gonna start getting one of those a month, 1 or 2 a month, and fill them and ship them to my friend in Colorado, because I really need to get them out of here. But yeah, gradually getting things organized and straightened out. And with the amount of time that I spent at Service BC on Wednesday standing, whew, boy, that was a lot of standing. Look at that. Nice thick stack. Now I'm going to cut this down even more. Whew, look at them all. I love working with paper. What can I say? All right. Now, set this stack beside me and get to work on. But see, it's time consuming because I'm only doing 1 sheet at a time. But that's because I don't want to run the risk of slippage. One of the sheets is slipping and getting cut wrong. Because, oh, like that. Case in point. I know the camera is a little far from it. But, yeah, it's all straight now. Yeah. This is something that I enjoy doing. I like doing. To me, this is fun. To me, it's also fun organizing papers. I used to work for a computer business in my hometown. And one of the things that I ended up doing for him was his wife, she was in charge of the choir, or the church band, at their local church. And so she had all of this sheet music, and it was just, she had a binder for storing it all in. But she had a tendency of taking it out. Well, they had a tendency of taking it out of the binder and not putting it back in. So I had a stack, I kid you not, a stack like this of sheet music and lyrics that I had to put back into the binder. And he actually had this really cool organizing thing for organizing papers. I thought it was really awesome. But yeah, and I sat on the floor in his, like, he was at this point in time he was running his business out of his house, he had converted their living room into an office, or like more like, it was kind of like a store, because he also had he had a few shelves in there with merchandise products that he would sell. And on the back table was so I sat on the floor and just organized all the papers. And he actually asked me one day about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I enjoy doing this. He's like, yeah, you're crazy. Yeah, he did not have the patience for doing that kind of stuff, which was why he was so grateful that I was willing to sit there for hours on end sorting paper. There are certain office type things that I do enjoy doing, and that was just one of them. Yeah. So he was totally fine with letting me do it. Yeah. And I was totally fine with doing it. I really enjoyed doing that kind of work. Yeah, my dad, to the point where my dad actually suggested that I look into getting a job as a secretary or an office assistant or whatever, and it just never panned out because of everything else going on in my life. One of the reasons why I love library books. Well, I've always loved books. I've loved doing stuff with books, like organizing them, and I believe in a previous video I mentioned how, like, when I was little, I once took all of my own personal books, and I made little pockets in the and put them inside the front cover of each book. Because back before they had like scanners and barcode codes and all that stuff, when you went to take a book out, inside the front cover was a pocket, and inside that pocket was a piece of paper. Oh dear, I just noticed my phone is dim, which means I need to plug it in. Just a second here. Yay, there I can see. Yay. So anyways, as I was saying, inside the pocket was a piece of paper. You pull the piece of paper out, and it had little on the top of the paper was the name of the book and the name of the author, and then it had a spot for where you could put your name, and then the librarian would stamp it with the date of when you had to return the book. And then the pocket, and then she kept the card. The card was put away, and then the pocket also had something similar, but just for putting the stamp on. And then the librarian would stamp the pocket as well. So with the date of when you had to return the book, and then you got to take the book. When I was running the Christian school, when I was running the library at the Christian school, that's how I had the books set up as well. But I didn't have to make my own pockets and cards because, well, I was able to get them in bulk from a business. And so, yeah, I loved running the library. Because it was actually a dream job of mine. And when I was in high school, they actually had a class called Library Sciences, for 2 years, I was the only student in that particular class. And it wasn't even really a class either, because all I really did was like, yeah, this is definitely dating me. This is like, oh, more than 30 years ago. I had to put books away back on the shelves. But the majority of the time I spent cutting out newspaper clippings. The head librarian would basically read the newspaper. That's pretty much all she seemed to do, was read the newspaper. And she would highlight certain articles in the newspapers and then set them aside. So then it was my job to take the newspapers and cut out the newspaper clippings and organize them into folders in a filing cabinet. If there was an article on both sides, I had to take one of those articles and photocopy it, and then I could cut the one out, and then I had the other one as a photocopy. But yeah, we had and it was like major news stories. So like we would have like say nowadays we would have like, there would have been a folder for President Donald Trump, and any major news articles that like to do with that he was doing, like with Greenland, just as an example. Any news articles that had to do with that would go into there, like into well, they would go into a big manila envelope, and then into a folder in the filing cabinet in alphabetical order and all that stuff. So that was what the majority of what my job consisted of, and I was under the supervision of the assistant librarian, and she and I became good friends. The head librarian hated kids, so why was she a librarian in a high school? Who the heck knows? But she was. And yeah, she spent the majority of her time just sitting at her desk, glaring at the kids and reading newspapers. I don't think I ever saw her do anything else. The assistant librarian, she was the one that would sign books in and sign books out, and when I was there, I was the one that would put the books away. A couple of times I helped out with signing books out or signing books in if the assistant librarian was busy. And yeah, sounds like easiest class in the world, right? Yeah. Hardest part, not falling asleep because it's so freaking boring. But not for me. I never found it to be boring. It's like sitting here cutting all this paper. Some people would be so bored with doing this, but not me. I could do this for hours. Considering I've already been doing this for almost an hour. Well, it's been 20. In 20 minutes, it'll be just over an hour. But yeah, I should probably go continue this until it's done, and then I'll be filling the my baggies, and then yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna organize all of this stuff. Actually, my floss is something that is definitely needing to be organized, because I've got that container full of floss, and the floss is in separate baggies. The big baggies, yeah, they're in the big baggies, and I got to organize those. And I'm gonna put those all into a couple of the new containers. It's probably gonna fill like three of the darn things. But that's okay, because I can always get more from the dollar store. They've got lots there. And I only grabbed 5. I could have grabbed more, but I wanted to see how things go with them. because actually I could use a ton of them. Just use them for everything. But so yeah, apparently everybody's getting like apparently there's a lot of people are getting snowstorms this weekend down there in the States. I really feel sorry for you guys. I kind of wish it was us, but I also, of course, kind of wish we'd hope we don't get anything, because like I just got my new deep freeze. It's outside. Anytime I need something from the deep freeze, I have to go outside. But I'm excited because now we can actually start stockpiling food, certain foods. I can actually make like large batches of food and freeze it. Oh, so happy. And I know my dad will be very happy. I sent him a message telling him that I got a deep freeze, but I haven't heard back from him yet, which means he hasn't received the message or just hasn't seen the message yet, because he does not take his phone with him everywhere he goes when he's at home. It just sits in one spot, and then he's out and about during the day doing his thing, and then later in the day he'll check his phone. He'll be inside and he'll check his phone, and if he gets it, he gets it. Because, well, the cell service there sucks, and he brought that up again the other day, because we had talked about it before, about him getting a cell booster, and we talked about getting one and mounting it on the corner of his shop. And my bonus mom's daughter and son-in-law, they have one for at the big house, and it doesn't really help. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't really help all that much, but my dad wants to be able to have conversations without having to stand outside on the patio. He'd like to be able to sit inside his nice, warm, comfy home and have telephone conversations. And right now, it's difficult, next to impossible to do. Yeah. Because of where the cell tower is located. And the foothills across the road from his place kind of obscure it. Plus, he lives in a mobile home. Mobile homes suck for cell service. I remember from when I was living with my boyfriend like 10 years ago. That's how it was. 10, 11 years ago. The best cell reception was right in front of the wood stove. So yeah, I spent many a time sitting in front of the wood stove, playing with the fire, cleaning the ashes out while talking to my dad. Or on a nice day, I'd sit outside on the steps and have a cigarette and talk on the phone. And that was back, yeah, I smoked cigarettes while I lived there. His number one, well, he had 2 rules. 1, no smoking in the house, and 2, no hard drugs, which was easy to do, very easy to do. Living there, had no interest in any of those hard drugs. My drug of choice wasn't even really a thought those days. I know I need to go. But when I'm doing something that I enjoy like this, my mind just goes off on a tangent, and I just keep going and going and going and going. Anyway, okay, I'm going to go, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!